Monarch butterflies play a huge role as pollinators in Oklahoma. We visited Euchee Butterfly Farm to learn more on why they're important to our ecosystem and how we can help them thrive.
Why butterflies? Well, I think I'm just really lucky because some people raise hogs, some people raise cattle. I'm a farmer for butterflies. A lot of times when people see a butterfly, that's it. It was pretty, whatever. But these are just beautiful, beautiful, miraculous, a gift and something that is one of nature's great beauties. So with the butterflies disappearing in the wild, we want to tell people what they can do to help make sure that they're there for the next generation and the generation after that. With butterfly farming, just like many other kinds of farming and ranching, it's all about high quality food and keeping your livestock clean, making sure they have the right food. So for us, as we explain to people what it takes to keep a butterfly at the butterfly farm healthy, the same thing is actually true out in the wild as well. And so as we lose our natural areas, as we have fewer and fewer resources and fewer of our beautiful native wildflowers for these butterflies to get the nectar they need, as we have fewer of the host plants for the caterpillars to get what they need, because sometimes what you call a weed, somebody else calls lunch. And so for instance, our milkweed, a lot of people don't like it and they spray it, but that's the only thing that a monarch caterpillar can eat during that stage of its life cycle. With monarchs in particular, they matter an awful lot to me, but I think they should matter to all of us for two really important reasons. First reason is that monarchs in particular are part of one of nature's great miracles, which is the Great Monarch Migration, which all the monarchs east of the Rockies are part of this miraculous annual trek. So they overwinter down in Mexico, about an hour outside Mexico City in the Transvolcanic mountain range, about 11,000 feet up. In the spring, they start breaking dormancy, so about mid-February they become active. Late February they leave and start heading north. They find milkweed, ideally, in Texas or Oklahoma. So subsequent generations are going to push further and further north. We don't really see northward movement after about June 10th, but starting August 10th on those northern latitudes up in southern Canada and the far part of the northern United States, these butterflies are going to start heading south. The really amazing part isn't that they're going to fly up to 3,000 miles. The fact is that every single butterfly in that migration has never ever been to that place before. And so you've got literally hundreds of millions of butterflies that are going to find an area that is less than 10 miles in totality, and they're all going to find their way there. And not a single one of them is on that journey, has been on that journey before. Their great-grandparents left in the spring, and yet all of these butterflies are going to find a tiny little 10-mile square area. Imagine trying to find that without your iPhone, but here they are. They're going to fly thousands and thousands of miles. So that's just, scientists don't know how they do it, how they find their way there, but they do. Monarchs are the canary in the coal mine for what's happening to all of our pollinators. We notice when, 900 million beautiful orange and black butterflies go missing from the sky, but our other pollinators, particularly our native bees, are disappearing just as quickly, and they're doing it silently. Why does that matter? Well, over 80%, up to even scientists estimate 90% of plants on the earth require a pollinator to continue. 30% of our agricultural crops require a pollinator to continue. These pollinator-plant relationships are complex and they're beautiful and they have co-evolved for a long time. When you start taking links out of that chain, those ecosystems are at risk of collapsing, and the consequences are going to be catastrophic. And once those ecosystems are gone, they are not coming back. In parts of China, they have used pesticides so heavily now they're having to hand pollinate crops. I don't want to see that happen here. Everything we do to benefit monarchs benefits our pollinators and especially our native wild bees as well. So yeah, it's not just about the butterfly. For me, that would be enough because I really do care about these. But the butterflies are powerful ambassadors for what we all need to be doing to make sure that we keep our green, beautiful world and our lovely agricultural economy and all that delicious food on our table. I'm old. I remember when I was little, they were everywhere. It was not a big deal to see them. I remember seeing the migration come over my house one time, literally, with thousands and thousands of butterflies. We don't see that anymore. And If you can't do it for the butterflies, do it for the pollinators, and because you like chocolate, coffee, and a lot of those other crops that require the pollinators to continue going. So yeah, so bring your school groups in, come on out for Tour Tuesdays, and you know, we would like to share our information with you because we want to empower you to do as much as you can to help these butterflies. Don't think that you can't make a difference, because you can, and don't think it's somebody else's problem. That this is going to be something for conservation organizations or governments or universities or the Euchee Butterfly Farm or tribal governments. This has gotten out to the point with our disappearing bees, with our disappearing butterflies. It has become everybody's problem. And if we come together, if we work together on this, we can do what needs to be done. But we're not going to, none of us is going to get there alone. And this is the time that we can all make a difference, you know, no matter, again, you don't have to own 800 acres, you don't have to have a PhD, but you can make a difference.
For more information about Euchee Butterfly Farm, call 918-364-9103 or visit nativebutterflies.org.